Today I'm going to finish my reading of The Split Second Transformation, Change Your Words, Change Your Life, 31 Daily Practices. My book that I've been reading, this will be my fourth, I believe, week of reading just a few chapters. And now we're going to start this week on chapter 25 through 31 daily practices. You want to put this book by your bed and learn how to speak your desires and, learn that every word matters. But first, good, beautiful day, you beautiful, beautiful souls. This is Charla Anderson, host of the Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people. And everyone is fascinating, especially you. But first, we're going to have our 22-second mini vacation, our little breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in calm for 7 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds, and we're going to breathe out gratitude for 11 seconds. Join me here. Let's breathe in some calm. Hold. Relax, release. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My late sister Shirley Hooks had a towel on her, like a dish towel, and it says, sometimes I open my mouth and my mother falls out. I think that's hysterical because isn't it the truth? I'll never be like my mom. Well, never say never, because that also attaches it to you like an umbilical cord, truly, and it will happen. So, today, I'm, going to finish up this reading the last few chapters of this book, and I hope, actually, that I'll do it again after my eyesight gets fixed. I'm hoping to do something towards that in the next few months, and it's not easy to read this, even though it's not tiny, tiny print. It is small enough, and by the way, I have to show you. If you haven't been following me, you need to go back and watch my solo shows and my book is autographed by my beautiful almost 4-year-old granddaughter now. So where'd she go? I'll show a picture of her. Look at that. She's so cute. Anyway, excuse me, I dropped my book. So I know most of you that do listen are probably listening on audio instead of video, but it is on video. It's on YouTube. Every week it rolls out on YouTube and podcasts, but you can go to charlaanderson.com/podcasts, and this is a request. You can read the blog, read along with it, but watch it on YouTube so you can like and subscribe, and we get a little bit more traction that way. And I'm looking for maybe upscaling, getting some sponsors, etc. But we're going to get right into now, if I can get my glasses set here, right into just reading this next few chapters. Chapter 25, they're only one page each, right? So it's very quick. But chapter 25 is called Forgiveness. Very important, very, very important. Yeah. So we maybe talk a little bit more about that. But here I'm going to go read Forgiveness, chapter 25. Is it possible to literally forgive in one split second? Yes. Is it easy? That's wholly up to you. You choose. If you haven't figured it out yet, everything is choice. By listening through these books, do a gut check. Who comes to mind when the word forgiveness comes up? Are you carrying the heaviness of unforgiveness, revenge, bitterness, fury, vindictiveness, or even hatred? Is something that happened long ago that you relive every time you hear that name, feel the same anger years later, still affecting your peace? In the words of an old hippie, Michael Singer, isn't that silly? It probably doesn't feel silly, but think about it. Not to dismiss the pain of the event, but as an example, 30 years later, you still get upset about your parents' divorce, the breakup, the firing, the missed touchdown, they died. Yes, it hurts you. But if you get upset, if you get upset, remain upset for ages, tell the story over and over and over in your mind to anyone who will listen. Wouldn't that constitute the choice to stay upset, therefore stay a victim? Wouldn't you want to get past that? Honestly, this is not in the book, but I think a lot of people prefer that victim and living in that story. I'm sure this isn't you, but I know people, and I bet that you do too, that wear that victimhood as a badge of honor to stay so deeply attached to their story of the past hurt that it has become their identity and they literally choose not to let it go. What if they, or we, ask the question about forgiving in order to be free? Maybe you need or want help with that. Reach out. I have a forgiveness release exercise that may provide the healing you deserve. I wrote this to my children in candy bar hugs. It doesn't take much to make a difference. My first little book, tiny book, big message, if you haven't got that yet. Here's what I wrote in there. I did what I did. I didn't do what I didn't do. I did all that I knew to do with what I knew at the time, just like you did and are doing in your life right now. I love you. That's what I call my forgiveness release. I'm finished with the chapter. It's a split-second forgiveness. Live free of that old story. And yes, I can help you with that. It can be a split-second choice. Relax, release, and let it go. Okay, we're going to turn on to chapter 26. Choice. It's all choice. Did I just say that? My guess is that you don't really believe that you always have a choice, but it is because we're so attached to and engaged with what is happening all around us. Is it because we feel like life happens to us? Is it because we don't feel that we have any say or any control? The truth is that no matter what's happening around us, regardless of our circumstances, we choose how we react. As I tell my grand blessings, nobody can hurt your feelings without your permission. No one can make you angry without your permission. No one else triggers or offends you. You allow yourself to take it personally. Actually, even if you get upset about being bullied, it is your reaction that offers you the choice to stand confidently in your power or to feel like a victim. Abuse is not acceptable. Boundaries are required. So that's in parentheses. I'm not talking about abuse. Okay. And we quote in that tiny book as well is unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, not unconditional boundaries. And it's probably written in this book too. Let me see. When something happens, according to Donna Blevins, she wrote a book called Mind Shift on Demand. You have about 3 to 7 seconds to change your reaction. What if you practice recognizing your thoughts during that split second and make the choice to remain calm, hold your tongue, take a breath, or stay in your power, even say a quick prayer? Thank you. Are you one that likes to carry around the negative energy and the spirit of offense? This is another gut check question. Controlling your reaction takes practice, like every other worthwhile endeavor in life. It may be a new muscle, but there's no doubt it is worth it if you but there is no doubt worth it if you long for a more pleasant, serene life. The simple practice of hesitating for a moment, taking a slow breath, and choosing the high road of a calm demeanor in times of stress or challenge is a sign of a great leader and citizen of our great earth. The world needs more kindness, love, and compassion, and the harder people are to love, the more they need it. Ding, ding, ding. Choose kindness and choose peace. Chapter 27, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, a term most likely originating in the tech world as in bad input, bad output. Our brains are the most sophisticated computer ever created, or how else could tech even exist? As simplistic as it sounds, what we put into our minds through every sense, what we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell is permanently imprinted. Doesn't it make sense to be mindful of that input? When my kids were small, we listened to some values cassette tapes, which were wonderful, one of which was called GIGO. Over the years, I've become aware of the constant barrage of noise fighting for our attention and space in our heads. I find it so curious as to why so much of the media and entertainment are so negative and filled with language that just a few years ago would have been considered disrespectful in daily life. It has just continued to desensitize our society and especially our children. When in one 30-minute space, I overheard my grandkids mention killing, dying, lying, and burning down on both games and TV. I asked them if they thought it was healthy for them to have so much violence in their minds. Of course, it's just games, right? When the shows are so incredibly mindless, vying to see who can be the loudest and garner the most views, doing some of the most inane, silly, and sometimes just stupid things, and we allow it, who's to blame? The slippery slope of continual exposure to violence and to see just how low and crass we can go and then expect to have a respectful society of responsible citizens is at odds with common sense. And it certainly stifles creativity. What if we just turned it off? Look at that. At least for some periods of time. Why not quiet our minds? Intentionally be quiet. Listen to our true inner voice of the heart. Listen to our true inner voice of the heart. Many successful people use the first and last hour of the day, their days, without any electronics in order to bookend their day with mindfulness. Why not? What goes in matters. Turn off the noise. At least every now and then. That's why we do our little breathing, right? Chapter 28. Mantras. During a morning meditation, the idea of sharing mantras as a chapter in this book came to me. Well, I listened to those ideas and actually take them as gifts. It made me recognize that I have a mantra I use constantly. Thank you. I've already discussed saying thank you in earlier chapters and now realize it is truly my mantra. I recently heard Michael Singer, he's the author of The Untethered Soul, mention 3 of his techniques to calming the mind, one of which is using mantras. He said one he uses is often repeated the word God over and over and over. It was validating for me to hear his use of mantras as a method, knowing that my experience using them has been such an integral part of my life. He suggests to change a negative reaction into a positive as his first technique, as in when you feel that negative spike of energy, angry reaction to the driver that cut you off, you can often shift to a positive thought of compassion. Maybe they're racing to the hospital to witness the birth of a child or to be by the bedside of a loved one. And I may say it here, I don't know. Maybe they need to go to the bathroom worse than you. Maybe they didn't see you, so quit taking things so personally. But that spike of anger, not all of that was in the book. Surrender is the third. So when something comes up, shift your perspective from negative to positive, repeat a positive mantra, and then surrender by choosing to relax, release, and let it go. Then do what needs to be done. It's a fascinating way to live, and in Michael's case, led to an extraordinary life. His journey, the surrender experiment, describes the incredible, unlikely, and miraculous journey from being a reclusive, meditating hippie to becoming a very successful executive and much more, all while living in the woods, maintaining his daily meditation routines. Additional mantras I use are, who I am is bold faith, no fear. Who I am is outrageously optimistic. Be prepared, not scared. But thank you is at the core of my being. Thank you for protecting me as I drive. Thank you for your shield of protection around each of my children, around my house, around my neighborhood, my health. And thank you for the abundance I am open to receive, for the restful sleep, for redeeming my time, and so much more. And, I have the last thing I say on these chapters is a little one-liner, and this is everything is always working out for me. So I That is a truth. Everything, I say that all the time. And this is not in the book, I'm just talking here, but everything is always working out for me. And when it doesn't look like it or feel like it, it still is, because where else do you have to be? And if you have that calm spirit in an uncomfortable or bad circumstance, it gives you a second of control, split second of control over your reaction, and can help calm a situation or solve the problem a whole lot easier and simpler than upset. And I know I've talked about it in these books, because upset draws upset. Sure does. So just and this weekend, this last week, I went to a family reunion and drove 10-hour trip both ways, which took 12 hours both ways. You know, when the main freeway closes, 4 lanes closes down into 1 lane, it takes a while. So I had a 40-minute delay getting home through that last night. And going there, just a lot of traffic. And do I let it upset me? No, I can't do anything about it in that moment, except relax, release, let it go. Perhaps daydream about what the vision I want for my life in those moments. Okay, back to the books. Yeah, I get distracted sometimes. You didn't know that, did you? Chapter 29. Look, we're almost to the end. Oh, you can't even see all this. Perspective. It's obvious that what we see with our eyes is from our own perspective, and no one else can have that exact same one. It's impossible, even if they are very close to each other. Not only is the exact angle different, the innate biases we each have color our view of things. We've heard stories of witnesses to the same accident tell wildly different stories. That's curious, isn't it? Well, there are some very simple ways to change our perspective on some annoying and dreaded chores. For example, changing that sentence, for starters. Some very simple ways to change our perspective on interesting and necessary actions. Change your words, change your perspective, which changes your life. Some simple and fun word changes to try. Rather than call those dreaded tasks around the house chores, why not bless our home with each stroke of that dust rag? Imagine caressing each object as you wipe off the fairy dust. Doesn't that sound more inviting? I met a house cleaner once who spent her time blessing the house with prayers for the family as she cleaned. Can you imagine the good feeling to come home to not only a clean home, but a home blessed all day? Ooh. How about changing your have-to-do list to a get-to-do list? Seriously, the feeling shifts just saying it differently, and you get to enjoy marking things off as you complete them. Instead of having to mow, you get some fresh air. Cleaning out the garage, you get to clear up space to keep your car clean and protected, and donate unused things to bless others. You have to do your homework. You get to get smarter or impress your teacher. So many small changes in your words can promote a more positive outlook on life. Change your perspective, change your life. Assumptions. Okay. I'm guessing that most have heard of the definition of assumption. The first time I heard it, I was in high school at an assembly. Someone had the audacity and courage to actually say the word ass from the stage in high school. In the late 60s, early 70s, I graduated in 1972. It was so memorable that I still recall that moment decades later. Assumptions, making an ass out of you and me. Of course, we all make assumptions, but are they accurate? Rarely. In the book I have recommended most for many years, The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. It is the third agreement. Every time you assume anything, you're literally judging without facts. Someone cut you off in traffic? So, isn't it mind-boggling that we take something like that so personally, that they did it to us intentionally, rather than just didn't see us or misjudge the distance? Do you realize how much drama is added to your daily round when you always assume the worst? Do you realize that it keeps you in a victim mentality? If you are going to make assumptions anyway, why not assume the best instead of the worst? Preserve your peace of mind. Take a deep breath and send blessings instead of curses. Driving is the easiest example to describe, but we make assumptions about so many things. They didn't smile, must be mad. They didn't respond the way you think they should, and they are mean. They leave a mess, they don't respect you. The text upset us, so much is lost without context. What people say and do is so much more about them than you. Let it go. Ultimately, what people say and do is for them, not against you. Save yourself from the drama surrounding assumptions. You are worth it. Split-second switch. Don't assume. Bless. And I'm sure I've said it many times, but a master is one who blesses. And that when I heard that, I'm like, that makes me a master. Yeah, may you be blessed, may you be blessed. And you don't have to get involved in all the drama, right? Let's keep our lives as simple and peaceful as possible. Was that chapter 30? It was. Chapter 31. Down to the last. Manifesting. Ooh. So this is the book chapter. There is no lack in this world. Abundance is everywhere. There may be a distribution issue, a secret rule book for the wealthy, or the deck stacked against us, but that doesn't change the fact that there is more than enough for every person to have enough. A fascinating classic book, The Science of Getting Rich, well worth the quick read. Very tiny book. Very brilliant. Back in the early 1900s. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Do you believe that you manifest constantly, that you get what you think about and speak? Isn't it worth considering? The evidence is overwhelming. Most of us were not taught these truths. Without talking about religion, quoting Jesus in John 14:12, he says, we can do everything that he did and even more. That's a lot of stuff. He did a lot of stuff, from turning water into wine, calming the seas, multiple healings, raising the dead. We also know his admonishment to ask, believe, receive. And the believing is to believe with great gratitude that it is already done. I wasn't taught this stuff. Not in my religion. We want to see it done, act as if it's already done, release it and let it show up. See it that it's already done, that it's on its way. Act as if. Some of that's not in the book. Once the house I wanted to rent already had a deposit on it. I had to laugh when they called me the next day and couldn't understand why she changed her mind. It's a great story. I just said, I'm in favor. My realtor had just told them the same thing, because I choose to be in favor. I believe I'm in favor, so I am in favor. So you get what you think about. Every word matters. I had envisioned my 75th birthday party in a loft in Fort Worth and was flabbergasted when I walked into the lobby and saw what I had been seeing. The doors opened for me to purchase a loft and slammed shut. 6 months later, I was able to rent the exact same one and had my 57th birthday party in the loft in Fort Worth. Sometimes God even warps time. There is much more to these stories and so many more. The miracles were often mind-boggling, and there are always witnesses. Manifest your reality with your words. Manifest your reality with your words. Oh my goodness. So this split second transformation, change your words, change your life, 31 daily practices. This is the afterword. I won't read acknowledgments or my resources or references, but it's such a beautiful copy. You know, my grandbaby, when she was probably 2, autographed it. The afterword. I wrote the Win-Win Women Chapter 3 in December of 2018. Who would have ever thought that 4 years later, in January 2023, I would have my own TV show on the Win-Win Women Global Network? Now, it talks about it talks about that TV show that I no longer have access to, but I did over 2 years of a live television streaming show. That was so cool on that platform. But my show is the same as this show. It's called Charla Anderson Show, Collector and Connector of Fascinating People, and everyone is fascinating. Some of the concepts in this short book are familiar reminders, obviously simplistic for quick daily reads. Some, I hope, are thought-provoking with deeper meaning, often challenging to explain in such short chapters. If you care for more in-depth discussion, discourse, and understanding, please reach out to me at charla@charlaanderson.com or find my calendar link on my website, charlaanderson.com, and schedule a time to talk. You know, I'm a mindset coach, right? If you ever need help with mindset, I'm here for you. My purpose is to ultimately to radiate light and love and raise the vibration of the world. That is part of my heart song. Remember, every word matters. You are who you say you are. Remember, you are loved exactly who and where you are right now. There is nothing that you can do to be loved more or less by God. Love yourself enough to receive that love so that you can love others. If God is love, he can't be not love. Love is the answer. Final word. Here's the forgiveness release from my book, Candy Bar Hugs. It doesn't take much to make a difference. We just read that. I did what I did. I didn't do what I didn't do. I did all that I knew to do with what I knew at the time, just like you did and are doing in your life right now. I love you. That's Afterword. I've enjoyed sharing this little book with you in this last few solo sessions. You know, this is the highlight of my week, just getting to talk with someone every week or just talking with you. This is a highlight of my week. It's the focus of my week. And I am so incredibly grateful and blessed that you would take the time. I'm going to insert my little commercial, my little 1-minute commercial about Zenzino, my wonderful, wonderful balance oil. Oh my goodness, it's life-changing. And you know, if you can take a 1-second shot of oil a day and reduce all your inflammation, or get your megas in balance, it's so simple and easy to do. There's so much going on in our world. I am outrageously optimistic that it's getting better, not worse. Despite what the media says, despite what we think we see, so much beauty. We're the golden age. I believe we're entering a golden age. It's been promised. So don't let the chaos, don't let the upset get on your nerves or disrupt your peace. You're beautiful exactly who and where you are. You're loved exactly who and where you are, no matter what. May you be eternally blessed. And remember to always choose joy. I'm taking a mini moment to share about cell health. One of the most important pieces in our body. Are your cells hard and crunchy? Are they soft and malleable? Let me tell you, if they're hard and crunchy, the nutrients can't get in and out. And if they're soft and squishy and malleable, the nutrients can. So when you have good, soft, malleable
cells, you have better brain function, hair quality, heart function, skin elasticity, inner organs are better, and your joints and muscles are better. Whoop, see that? But like 99% of North Americans, we're out of balance in our omega-3 to omega-6. Test, don't guess. We've got a test. It will absolutely give you your results on a full scale test of your balance. You need to be 3-to-1 or better, like 99% of North Americans are not. So we've got a simple solution. 1 second shot of beautiful golden omega-3 oil a day. Test, don't guess. Now back to the show.